Remember 2024 when you paid extra for that new phone? Or that car? Turns out those weren't just regular price hikes, those were tariffs, baby. In simple terms, a tariff is a tax on imports, making foreign goods more expensive. The idea? To encourage people to buy American. Sounds good in theory, right? But like that friend who says they can totally handle tequila, tariffs often don't end well. In 2025, things escalated. Trump slapped a 25% tariff on goods from Canada and Mexico. China got hit with an extra 10% on top of existing tariffs. This wasn't just about trade deficits. Trump cited drug trafficking and unfair trade practices, but critics, including some very loud economists, cried foul. They argued these tariffs were essentially a tax on American consumers. And how did our trading partners react? Not well. Canada called the tariffs unjustified. China retaliated with their own tariffs on American goods like coal and cars. Mexico, while hoping for a deal, also expressed concerns. The trade war, it seemed, was heating up. But were these tariffs the job-saving heroes Trump promised? Or were they tipping the global economy into chaos? Let's dig in. Okay, let's talk numbers. Did the tariffs make America great again economically? The answer, like a bad Tinder date, is complicated. Some industries saw a short-term boost. Remember the US steel industry? They got a 15% production jump post-tariffs in 2018. But for every winner, there seemed to be a dozen losers, especially in agriculture. American farmers lost a staggering $27 billion in exports by 2020 thanks to retaliatory tariffs. And those higher prices we talked about? They cost the average household an extra $1,277 per year. That's a lot of avocado toast you're not buying. Even the energy sector felt the burn. Canada, a major oil supplier, saw its crude oil imports slapped with a 25% tariff. Result? Potential gas price hikes in the US, especially in the Midwest and New England, heavily reliant on Canadian oil. But here's the kicker. Remember those cheap goods from China we all love? In 2024, the US still imported $1.3 trillion worth of stuff from China, Mexico, and Canada combined. We're talking everything from car parts to cell phones. So, while some industries got a temporary boost, the tariffs didn't exactly end our reliance on foreign goods. In fact, they might have just made them more expensive for everyone. Now for the truly bizarre part, the unintended consequences. Remember Harley-Davidson, that bastion of American manufacturing? To avoid the tariff costs, they shifted some production overseas. Irony, thy name is global trade. On a lighter note, the candle industry experienced a resurgence, with domestic production jumping 40% by 2021. Who knew tariffs could make candlelit dinners great again? But here's where it gets serious. While some touted the environmental benefits of local production, the rush to replace cheaper imports often led to rushed, less sustainable practices. Remember those abandoned soy fields in Iowa? Soil erosion central. And while tariffs forced companies to diversify suppliers, reducing reliance on one country, these shifts came with short-term costs and disruptions. Innovation also took a hit, with a 20% decrease in protected industries. Turns out, when you're not competing with the best, you don't have to be the best. So what did we learn? Well, tariffs are complicated. They can protect certain industries and even bring back some jobs, but they also come with a hefty price tag for consumers and often lead to unintended consequences. The trade war, while intended to bring back manufacturing jobs and reduce the trade deficit, highlighted the interconnectedness of the global economy. It's a delicate dance, and throwing in a tariff is like doing the Macarena in a room full of waltzers. What's the solution then? Well, that's a whole other episode, folks. But what we do know is this: trade wars, much like actual wars, rarely have clear winners. Instead of resorting to protectionist measures, perhaps it's time for a more nuanced approach, one that addresses the concerns of both workers and consumers while recognizing the realities of a globalized world. Because the last thing anyone wants is to be left holding a candle in the dark, wondering where it all went wrong. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe.